All right, we are headed out to the field and we are going to move the cow today. We had one of our cows come back to our field. We still have two that are gone. They'll be back in a couple weeks. But we are going out to move him into a new paddock. Now, why would we be moving cows when we could just have a huge fence and let them roam? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. We want to make sure that the soil and the ground are healthy. And one of the ways we do that is by moving them constantly. I would say every couple of days we move them to a new paddock. What are the other reasons, Trav?
Twofold. First, you want to make sure that the grass has the time to rest. When the grass has a chance to rest, it allows the roots to get, healthier and deeper, which gives you a quicker return on the grass.
Point.
Whereas if you just have a cow in the same pasture and he's able to regraze that grass he just ate, and then regraze it again and regraze it again, and never has a chance to rest. And so that grass becomes stunted in its growth, and eventually you'll end up with this really poor pasture. If you look behind us, actually, you'll see a lot of broom's edge. And that's a big indicator of poor soil, and that's being grazed continuously for years, and so it never has a chance to rejuvenate properly. The second part is you want the animals to be on fresh ground, and that way they're leaving their cow patties back behind and all the parasites that are in those, and so they're staying healthy, they're staying clean. That's huge. Typically people will deworm their animals a few times a year at least.
Yeah.
We don't ever deworm, we don't have to. We're gonna put them on fresh ground. And so
that's a good point.
The parasites, they're killed off by rest and sunshine.
And in fact, we don't have to give our cows any medicines, antibiotics, any of that stuff.
Nothing.
So that's great. All right, what have you got in your hand here?
This is just a little bit of sweet feed. Usually I give them alfalfa, but I didn't have any today. So a little bit of sweet feed, which is like,
lovely snack.
Yeah, it's a little bit of grain product with some molasses. It just kind of makes it a nice treat for them.
And we do have sprinkled over it some diatomaceous earth.
Mm-hmm. And I've got some mineral in here as well too. So.
We have two fences here. We have the Premier One fencing and we have the Smart fence. So what are the pros and cons of the Smart fence versus the Premier One fencing?
Premier One is really nice for making irregular shaped paddocks. You have a support post about every, I think it says 12 feet or so.
Yeah, so we're talking about this one right here.
Yeah, that white post there. So like going up and down uneven terrain, making weird shaped paddocks.
Yeah.
It does really well for that. This is actually like a poultry net for like chickens or ducks. So you've got a whole lot of electrical wires run through here, which chickens or flyers need. But actually the cows don't. So this actually, just using two of these fences, and they're like 150 feet each, I believe, roughly. It draws a lot of current down. So, where it has its pluses and minuses, one of the minuses is it kind of zaps a lot of your energy. Another thing is it's got a lot of ground contact, whereas the Gallagher doesn't. The Gallagher is going to be off the ground. So especially in spring and summer when you have a lot of grass growing, this is going to have a lot of contact and further deplete some of your shock energy.
That's a good point.
So This one is really easy to set up by yourself, or easier than this one is, I would say.
Right. You're saying the Premier One is easier than the Smart Fence to set up alone.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's easier to set up alone.
Gotcha.
And these are the drivable posts. These you can hammer in with a mallet. Single spike.
I was going to say, make a note of the single spike, because
Yep.
we also have a Premier One fence that has the double spike. And that has proven to be challenging, especially with the health of the soil here in the pasture isn't as great, and we are working on getting that healthy. It used to be a tobacco farm, and so the soil is pretty bad. Trying to get those double spikes in is really hard. They end up bending. It becomes problematic. You really want to get the single spike, especially for hard ground.
This guy's pretty lonely right now.
Oh yeah.
He's without
It's pitiful.
his two
Friends.
his two sisters, basically. So he's
been mooing a lot through the night.
normally he'd be pretty standoffish, a little ornery, but right now he just wants to have some attention. So this is one of the advantages of the Premier One fence. I've got two fences coming together right here, so to let him in, basically there's a little gate.
Show us your best cowboy stance. Show us your draw. Ready, set, draw.
One thing I will say about moving your cows every day or a couple of days, 3 to 4 days, whatever your situation is your cows getting, they get used to you and they get used to being handled.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes them a lot more tame, so to speak, a lot more docile.
Right.
Now he's a steer, he's a Jersey.
Yeah.
He's almost full Jersey. He's got some Guernsey as well. But had he not been castrated and made a steer and kept a bull, he'd be a lot more difficult to handle and to work with.
Okay, we're pretty much done with the cow move. There's just the water and the battery. One of the things that we feel is really important is that having the kids involved in the moves. For one, we really need their help. And for two, it really helps them, gives them responsibility, show them how we're working as a team. I know that many times I have heard people say, since we homeschool our kids, they think, well, I'm really worried like they're not on teams, they don't do sports, they don't go to a public school. How are they going to function as a team? Trust me. They learn to function as a team. There are 8 of us, and it's the prime place to learn how to function as a team, especially when you're moving cows, especially when you're feeding pigs, you're taking care of chickens, you're taking care of ducks. These are all great opportunities for them to learn how to be a leader, how to take responsibility and care for things, and how to be a team. That I feel like is so important 4 kids. Now I want to talk about the water just for a minute. We talked about this in the pig video, but we don't have a water source out here. We didn't want that to stop us from having animals out here, and so what we've done is we have taken a lot of water hoses and hooked them together. I don't know how many, 4 or 5 water hoses?
It's about 6, I think, right now.
Okay, 6 water hoses, and they're hooked up to the faucet at the house, and then we fill up this tub right here for the cows, and then we also get the water for the pigs as well. I want to show you guys the Energizer that we use right here for the cows.
Yeah, once again, this is by Gallagher, a New Zealand company. Really good stuff, good quality stuff.
Yeah.
So this recharges your battery. It's all internal. If you want to look at this. Right
Yeah.
quick. It's a small, I don't know how many amp hour battery it is, but yeah, basically this little solar panel recharges it, and you know, as long as you're not running a lot of fence off of it, it's only a 1 joule unit, which is half the strength of our pig Energizer. But you know, especially for that smart fence, you know, it's plenty strong. You're running around on good clean fence that's not got a lot of weed contact. You're probably running about 5,000 volts on it, which is plenty for the cows.
Right, and we found that once they got used to the electric fence, it was good to go. Okay, that's a wrap. We're done moving the cows. It's really not too bad, although if you ask our children,
yeah,
they would beg to differ on how awful it is to have to move the cows every couple days, 3 or 4 days. But really, it's not that bad. I don't know, what does it take, like maybe 30 minutes?
Yeah, for more simple moves,
Yeah, maybe 30 minutes, and then and that's pretty much it. We do it, well, it depends on the amount of cows in the pasture, but right now we're doing it 4 to 5 days. When we have our 3 cows on here, we'll do it every couple days because they're eating a lot more grass and they're also pooping a lot. So we want to keep that moving. I know you're lonely, aren't you, buddy? Are you lonely?